Tim McMahon, we had the Lakers and the Nuggets last night, and we had a milestone for LeBron. He entered the night 3 field goals away from passing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for the most made field goals in NBA history. And here's the shot that did it on the ISO, fade away, and it's good. With that, he surpasses the great Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. No one has ever made more baskets in NBA history than has LeBron James. P.S. They were down 10 after 1. Third quarter, Nuggets up 8. Jokic, Jamal Murray. Vince, he would score 28 on this night.
Denver, all they have to do, Greeny, is get healthy. If they get healthy, they have so many guys who can feed off of Jokic. They just have to get Aaron Gordon back, who they're going to get back tonight. Peyton Watson, Cameron Johnson. If they do, they're going to be such a dangerous team this postseason.
That was Jokic feeding off himself. He had a triple-double there last night. Now here's Luka, step back 3 off the bank, 27 for him. It's a 7-point Denver lead going to the 4th. And now here's Jokic again. That's not a good matchup
for anybody. Nobody's guarding him.
He had 28 and 12 and 13. 4 minutes to go. Lakers down by 6. There's LeBron. Takes a hard fall. Needed some time to get up, a little bit of an elbow injury. We watch it again. LeBron would score 16 points. The good news, whatever it was, not serious. He would go off the floor. It looked bad, but he would check back in quite quickly thereafter. Here's where the game's decided. 30 seconds to go. Nuggets by 3. Jokic puts it away. So on a night where LeBron makes some history, it is the Nuggets who get the win, 120-113. Also in this game, and it wasn't really easy to see, Luka Doncic got another technical foul. You see him here as the play continues. He looks, that's the most typical Luka expression. What? What are you talking about? But he got his 15th technical foul of the season. I want to bring Tim McMahon in on that conversation because for those of you not familiar, Tim, you covered the Mavericks. You were around Luka basically his entire career. What do we say about this? He's now 1 technical foul away from a suspension.
Yeah, and Luka didn't think he deserved this technical. We'll see if the league office agrees. They tend to be more lenient with Luka in terms of rescinding technical fouls the closer he gets to a suspension. But it's not even really about the risk of a suspension here. Why didn't you see what Luka did to get a technical foul? Because it happened right after he missed a shot. He wanted to complain instead of getting back on defense. The refs weren't going to blow the whistle to stop the transition possession, and so they wait until it's a wide open 3 because it's 4-on-5 basketball. And that's the thing with Luka. Forget about the tease. You constantly complain instead of getting back on defense. This happens multiple times a game, hundreds of times a year. He has acknowledged many times that this is an issue. I don't want to hear how much Luka wants to win if he's going to continue to prioritize whining instead of running back on defense. He's putting his team in a bad spot over and over and over again.
You know, it's interesting, Vince. J.J. Redick said a couple of weeks ago, I forget exactly what day it was, he said, we're the Lakers, so everything is louder. And I think that's the case with Luka, too. This has been him for a long time, as Tim is pointing out. But in Dallas, we didn't pay a whole lot of attention to that. Look at the numbers. Look at all of his offense. Now, some of the nitpicking or whatever it is you want to call it, it's a lot more on full display. What are the right things to say about him this morning?
I go back to the NBA Finals a couple years ago, and the Dallas Mavericks were down. Remember that?
Sure.
And he drew a charge. He thought he drew a charge on Jaylen Brown. It was his 6th foul. He shouldn't have been in that position anyway. He yelled at the bench to challenge the play. It was clear that it was a defensive foul. You wound up taking the challenge, losing the challenge. He fouls out. You lose the game. That's the Luka Doncic experience in a nutshell, the bad of it, because you have to have the right judgment in those moments, and sometimes he gets so wrapped up in it, he does not exercise the best judgment.
Okay, let me leave that there because I want to get to our top story today. I feel like there's more to get to with the Lakers, and we will. To make his season debut tonight for the Celtics against the aforementioned Mavericks. This comes less than 10 months after tearing his right Achilles in Game 4 of the conference semis against the Knicks last year. This return comes at a very interesting time for Boston. They're 4 games back at Detroit for the 1 seed in the East. After today, they have a very tough 3-game road trip. Sunday at the Cavs, Tuesday and Thursday against the best teams in the West. They'll be in San Antonio and then Oklahoma City. This is obviously a fascinating story, and I will admit to being surprised. I would have said all along this year, this is a great goal. It's a great thing for him to say and them to say. But when push comes to shove, he won't play this year. Obviously, I'm wrong. What are the realistic expectations?
I don't know, because I'm with you, Greeny. Like, Kevin Durant is the template for what we were supposed to see with Achilles injury recoveries. He took a year and a half, almost 2 years, 558 days. Jason Tatum has cut this time in half. Now, medical advances and everything else has accelerated recovery periods. Dominique Wilkins came back, and granted, that was 30 years ago, and everything has changed. But I wonder, and you're in the first year, Greeny, of a $315 million contract in a second apron era, where you also have Jaylen Brown in second year of a $285 million deal. Is this the smart play for the Celtics? Is this the smart play for Jason Tatum? I wonder if someone should have told him, hey, let's just wait until next season. I wonder what the upside is.
I hear you. And we have to assume that everyone is being as cautious as they can. They're hearing everything from doctors. I mean, no one's accusing them of being reckless. It is just still stunning to see it, Tim. So how should we expect this return to look both tonight and the rest of the way? I believe they have 19 games left this season. What should we be expecting this to look like over the next month?
It's okay not to rush to judgment. It's okay to allow a guy coming off what used to be essentially a career-ending injury to ramp up. I'm sure there's going to be a minutes restriction. You know, the guy hasn't played in a game, obviously, since the playoffs last year. Also, Jason Tatum does not need to put a cape on and come back to rescue the Celtics. They have had an amazing season without him. They are positioned to be a contender, and he just has to kind of add to that. It is not here I come to save the day. It's here I come to fit into a team that is positioned to make a playoff run, and let it breathe. Be patient. Have reasonable expectations. And I would say the same thing to Jason Tatum. Don't let your pride be a hurdle here. You don't have to come back and be an all-NBA player right away. Just come back and give Boston a boost. Come back and fit into a team that's had a phenomenal season without you.
That's my concern.
Go ahead.
My concern, Greeny, is that Jason Tatum wants to come back and be the same Jason Tatum that he was right before he injured himself, a top 5 player in the game who felt like something was taken away from him. It's hard to tell a player like that, hey, come in on the team full of tryhards and not be yourself. Come in on Jaylen Brown's team, so to speak, and fit right in. That's a big thing for a player to suppress his ego, suppress his ambitions when it's gotten him this far.
Yeah, it's a fascinating hurdle that he's got to get through, the psychological piece of it. We hear all the time from athletes what it's like psychologically getting through the injury. And then, oh, by the way, they are right in a playoff chase for a team that even without him looks like they might make a run all the way to a conference final. What is the smart money pounding as far as this is concerned?
So you look at 3 of his props. His points prop is 13.5.
That's tonight we're talking about.
That's tonight's game. His rebound prop is 4.5, and then his assist prop is 2.5. Who thinks he's playing 30 minutes tonight? This is all about him mentally getting over the psychological hurdle and then seeing what you can get from him when you get to the playoffs. They've won a title before. They're not chasing a 1 seed. They're not looking for 73 or 74 wins. So what you do is this, in my opinion. You bet under the 13.5 points. You bet under the 4.5 rebounds, because I don't see him trying to crash the glass. You go over the 2.5 assists. I see him being deferential. Try to get other people involved. Derek White's going to be wide open tonight with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum on the floor. I don't see him playing enough minutes. I don't see him taking a ton of shots. I'd go under the points, under the rebounds, over the assists.
All right, so that's for him tonight, game 1. Now let's fast forward, Tim McMahon, all the way to the middle of April, into the late April, into May. If Tatum comes back and looks comfortable and sort of they work their way back in this together, does this make them the clear-cut team to beat in the Eastern Conference?
Listen, they're the betting favorite, and I understand why. Jaylen Brown's obviously having a first-team All-NBA type of season. Joe Mazzola has done an amazing coaching job. They've had these other guys, you know, the Cadas, the Hugo Gonzalez's, these guys we didn't know before the season, really, that have fit in and been phenomenal as role players. Peyton Pritchard back in that 6-man role. Like, this team is rolling, with the exception of getting their butts whipped by the Hornets the other night. But this team, for the most part, is rolling. And if Jason Tatum is just something reasonably close to what he was in the past, then absolutely the Boston Celtics can come out of the Eastern Conference.
Hell, Vince, I was kind of thinking they might do it even without him. When we look
You're
at
insane. They were not doing it without him.
Not doing it without him.
No. And
Jaylen Brown is my MVP, by the way. Is he your MVP?
No, he's not.
Okay.
He's on the ballot. There's still that fat man in Denver that's still, doing everything work.
All right.
And there's still Shea.
Yeah.
I think this. we are putting the cart before the horse.
Tell me.
If we are saying the Celtics are the favorite, even if Jason Tatum is 80% of himself. Because the team that knocked them out last year in the playoffs still exists, and they're better. And that's the New York Knicks. The New York Knicks have had the second best, actually the first best defense in the NBA since January 15th.
Yes.
I know that their lows are low, but their highs are so very high. And in today's NBA, it's so much more like the NFL, where it all depends on matchups. Does Detroit avoid Cleveland? Does New York avoid Detroit? It all breaks down on the brackets to me as opposed to who the betting favorite is. I can't see Jason Tatum missing 10 months of basketball, coming back and playing a month of regular season basketball, then 3 rounds of grueling playoff basketball,
right,
and then coming out on the other side and saying, okay, we're going to be there.
So it sounds to me like you are, and I want to make this as clear as I can. You are not betting on these things. Tim McMahon is not betting on these things. But it sounds to me like your bet would be on the Knicks.
My bet
in the East.
I can't believe I'm saying this out loud.
I can't believe it.
This is insane. I don't
But
know
that's
if I'm
right.
saying this. They seem like the most likely team. That's what I would say.
Tim?
Not if the Knicks see the Pistons, because the Pistons have punked the Knicks
Yes,
every
have.
time they've seen them, basically, this year. Now, the Knicks they've proven they can play defense. That was the big question mark. The Knicks have been the top defense in the league for about a month and a half now, so I wouldn't rule it out, but they don't want to see Detroit.
And let's make it clear, Fortenbaugh is betting on these things. Which one are you betting on?
Very much so. I would be looking to buy low more on Detroit. I think we're going through a little bit of a lull here, but I love the defense. I would not want to buy on Boston right now. The focus so much is on Tatum. We forget Horford's gone, Porzingis is gone, Holiday's gone. It's a very different team that did not play together in the playoffs last year. I have concerns there as well.
We have the game tonight. It's ESPN.